it's your first time on my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. Yeah, this news is about Jamaica. We have seen for years, and we have heard as well, that Jamaica was on the top for a long time, and other countries as emulate our little island. What has changed? Have we become now so depraved in our lifestyle that now we are looking to other country? We have seen our Burkina Faso, like any other nation, have grown up, toppled out of what they have striving for years. And now we see how they have come up and rising up because one man thought that the country needed stability. Yes, I know we have our government, and many of you love our government. We have many prime ministers that have passed through, and all of them have made mistakes. Yes, they have toppled over with so many things that have broken our resistance. I agree that we need a change on the island. We need a complete change. All those who fight against their brothers and their sisters, and when I say brothers and sisters, I mean fellow citizens in Jamaica, should be sanctioned. I'm saying it. Should be held accountable. You see, we have been so bombarded with we call what IMF, borrowing loans. There was a time when I could remember when it was said that we had the best train station. That means we have the best train infrastructure on the Western Hemisphere. What has gone wrong? Our dollar seems to toppled over and over and sliding that it can't catch up anymore. It was told to me many years back that we produces automobile, but I think many of us don't even know if it still exists or if it does. So therefore, what are we waiting for to try to raise up a standard on the island? To those of you out there who are scamming the old folks abroad and bringing the country into a dilemma of having us on a 54% of top high criminality rate. Have you ever thought of how our island look from the outside within? Many are crying out, let's go to Jamaica for years. But many are saying, let's run from the island because our people are getting out of hand. We have no values in our money anymore. And we have destroyed our sugar plantation. We have no crops of bananas or planting. And I think from my point of saying, I can't see the mountain peak coffee outside and over here in Europe. Maybe it's just my part of Europe, but I'm just saying, if you can back up to say otherwise, I'm happy. There was a time when we heard that our mangoes will be going overseas, and we here out in the diaspora, we were happy to know that our mangoes will be flying in the airplane. There was a time when we heard that our dogs were getting visa to go abroad, and we also cheered. But we cry as well. Many in the diaspora are being deported back to the island for whatever means. I cannot debate on that. But look at it now. Some of we go abroad, we go over there because why? Let me say we go from Massaman land, and we never thought of fixing up ourselves. Not saying we should dash with yard or dash where we stick, where we cross over with the boat. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact that you get abroad, look at a job, set up your paperwork, get yourself in an order. Some of you have already done some things back home, you know people don't get a weight pound. And some of we even know, say, you never do nobody nothing. When you go back a yard, them down there, I go say, boy, your chatbot. And we know all of that. I'm living in a land where I've heard that there was a time when this staple food was just potato and cheese and milk. And yes, a little chocolate because they get the cocoa from somewhere. But they stood on the bottom of the pit and climbed to the mountains that they already have here. They work for little to no anything and build their economic. And today the world is looking at it as among the top, what you call richest country around town or in the world. And even though we are living here, we might not be able to taste a piece of that richness, but there are those who will. Jamaica can rise up and rise high. Our mountain is the ice. What we have is a blue mountain. That's true. And we are surrounded by a vast, beautiful water. But we can rise. We as a people can rise. Those of you on the island who are just walking around and just bringing people into the grave as you seem choose or fit or deem fit in your category, I think the time has come for you to stop. How long you think you can do that? We heard that this police force that now you have on the island ain't ramping up no more. And I'm sure that the military will step in line as well. These children are your children, your brothers, your sisters have joined these forces to come back at you, to eradicate you from destroying our island home. We who live in the diaspora did not choose to stay or remain in the diaspora all our lives, you know. A lot of us want to come back home and say, let's build a home with a veranda. Even though nowadays nobody seems to have veranda, they want a luxury source, but it doesn't matter. They have worked in the cold. Some have worked in various inhumane conditions, and they have struggled. Some have hid themselves from the authorities of the land that they're in. I've heard the Prime Minister the other day said that Jamaica belongs to Jamaicans. That's true, Mr. Prime Minister. But do the people of Jamaica think the same way that when those who've gone into the diaspora and come back, Jamaica belongs to them? We are seeing where others are taking over territories that does not belong to them. But you see, on the contrary wise, we look at things to say that everybody needs a peace. But what about those who has to be deported back to the island? Is there a workroom ready, set up for them? And those of you who have been deported and gone back to the island, have you gone back with something that would say, let's educate those who are on the island who have never traveled out, for them to come to the understanding that knowing are better than yard? To all the dignitaries in the parliamentarians, the both sides of the spectrum, we're asking you as well. The time you're fighting in parliament and stampeding like wild beasts, get to the table and try to find an infrastructure in the island. Stop robbing those who have run for their money, who have worked hard for their money, and try to find an infrastructure that can build our economic. We on the diaspora have been rooting for Jamaica for years, and we will never stop rooting. We are trying to see what we as well can do. Many of us have become the identification outside of the island to tell the world that our island home is the best in the Western Hemisphere. But those of you who are there, who think that the grave is a place for every person that you don't care about, is this how you're going to continue? The world is changing, and a lot of places are changing, and Jamaica seems to be on a standstill. Is that what you're trying to tell us? Oh, you not live down here, so you don't know. Yes, we don't live down there. That's true. Some of the places where we live, we don't even hear news about Jamaica. Unless we have an internet and go on the internet to get a second and third hand party news. But are you who are on the island ready for changes? Are you ready to stand up to those in the country, on the island where you are living, in your little bush, and look at them and said, listen, enough is enough. This is Dance Brown TV, just throwing in a word to let everybody know that we on the outside are rooting for the island, and we want the island changing. And somebody gonna start somewhere, or less we're gonna sink to rise no more. Walk good, my friend. Shalom.